So with that, like I said, a lot of our clients are using their service department, especially Express, as a farm, but we have to think outside the box on the bait we've been using trying to recruit people isn't working anymore. We just had this conversation in a class last week. It's a big pool. Everybody's looking for people right now in just about every single industry. So think of the things that you would be willing to offer that are a little bit outside the box. As an example, would you be willing to pay for training, education, or maybe even tuition reimbursement? Maybe you've got somebody who, if you're marketing outside of your area, a lot of our stores are in somewhat rural or isolated markets. They just don't have a great deal of talent in the market to choose. So if I could recruit from outside of the market area, if I'm willing to do that, would I be willing to pay relocation expenses for somebody or some assistance in getting relocated to the area where my store is in? Again, if they haven't, if they've already invested in their education, maybe they've already graduated from one of these UTI programs, et cetera. My understanding is the tuition fees can be as high as maybe $30,000 through the certificate program. If somebody had invested in that on their own, would you be willing to support tuition reimbursement? And the bigger question is all these things I'm talking about, are those in the ads that you're actually running for technicians? Are they seeing that? Or are they just seeing help wanted, entry level, a technician, I think a lot of them are really looking for not just a job, but looking for a career path opportunity. So again, we have to be thinking not just about, the positions we're looking to fill today in the stores, but, where do we recruit from today? With the technology changing on cars, I sarcastically say this, maybe we should be recruiting from Best Buy at the Geek Squad, the people who know the technology and they're really good with the software and and data applications and stuff, because that's a lot of what we're seeing trend-wise on the backside is the biggest frustrations today is dealing with the technology. So if you had somebody who's really into that, could be a perfect opportunity for them. So another thing I like to think of is, when I'm looking for people, I'm looking maybe outside of the current industry as well. Not necessarily for technicians. You really need somebody who's an enthusiast when it comes to working with their hands, and they like to work on and fix things. It's a hands-on job. But when you get into some of the other soft people skills, the service advisor is an example, receptionists, valets, even managers I've seen coming in from outside lateral industries. They've got backgrounds in education. I've had one of my fixed VPs was a high school principal, and he kind of landed in the business by accident, but he loves what he's doing and he's been very successful with that. He's good with people. Hospitality, always a great place to look for, especially service advisor, frontline people who are going to be relating to the public. I mentioned, education, logistics, people who work in logistics. I've had people who are warehouse managers or worked with big box stores where they did a lot of inventory management, a lot of people's staffing, having to work some really interesting schedules when you're open from 10 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, where most of our dealerships don't even run those hours. Or I've had a lot of people coming in from civil service, police officers, people who worked in the medical field who quite frankly got a little burnt out with COVID and everything else going on. Military background. I've had great success personally in my own career. I had a lot of people come to work for me that had been in the military, very driven, very disciplined, and typically very good producers, good people. So just a few thoughts on recruiting outside the box.